All right, we are live. You're watching the Fighting News, South Florida's premier media outlet for all things boxing, MMA, pillow fighting, you name it, we got it. And we have a very special show tonight. It's a doubleheader. First, we have one of South Florida's rising stars, Pistol Pete Dobson. How are you doing tonight, sir? Okay, the mic is on mute.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the mic was muted. Go ahead, sir. How are you
I'm
today?
good. How are you? How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. It's a pleasure to have you on the show tonight because although we've known of you for a while, we followed your career. We've seen all the shows with bad promotions and et cetera that you fought on, but you're at a crucial point in your career right now. And why don't you walk us through, or our audience, how did you get started in boxing?
I got started in boxing. There was a boxing gym next to where my aunt lived, and me and my cousin, I was curious, and I went in there. I boxed for a summer, maybe 2 months, but I did a lot of sparring because like the gym that I went to, they just throw you in the ring right away to spar. So I was sparring I
Right.
was like 14, sparring 16-year-olds. But then I played basketball, so I went back to playing basketball. I used to get into a lot of fights playing basketball, and my mom she wanted me to go back and try boxing out, and that's basically how.
And where was this? Was this
It's in
here or in
Morton
New York?
Park, in the Bronx, in the Bronx.
Okay, because I remember in your last fight you were rocking. You had Bronx on your trunks, right?
Yeah, yeah, I had the Yankee trunks. Yeah.
Okay, but you trained down here in Delray, correct? And you
I
moved
trained in
down
Hollywood.
in Hollywood. Okay, with
Jeff Porritz and Kevin
okay, yeah,
Gleason.
and Gleason, Kevin Gleason.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how old were you when you moved from New York to Florida?
I actually just moved out to Florida maybe a year ago, maybe 13 months ago.
Okay, and you've had quite a few fights down here though. You've had what,
Yeah,
4 or 5
maybe
fights?
14 months ago, and I have five. I want to say no, four fights out there since I've moved out there.
Okay, okay, and you're 15-0 right now.
Yeah.
So you're at that crucial point in your career where people are definitely starting to notice you outside of your South Florida and New York fans, of course. Tell
Mhm.
us about your last fight on that Pro Box Promotions.
It was a good fight. I knew my opponent. I trained for 2 months for that fight, maybe a little bit longer because the fight I got actually I trained for 16 weeks for that fight. Actually, I just remember because the fight got pushed back a month, so like they postponed it a month, and I already had like a 12-week camp, so it was a long camp. I knew my opponent because he used to train in the Bronx, Borrego, so I already knew of him. I knew he was like a hard puncher. He tough, Mexican. So I trained hard for the fight, and the hard work paid off.
Right, and would you say that was your hardest fight to date?
I wouldn't say that. I've had a harder fight, but not. It was probably one of my best opponents. But sometimes styles make fights. You know what I mean? I had a tough
Exactly.
fight in Florida before I fought in Orlando. I think that's my toughest fight.
Orlando. Who was your opponent in that one?
This guy named Frank Gideon. He was I think he's like 6'3" or 6'4" southpaw.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, and then not only that, the reason why I was tough because I made it tough because at the weigh-in he headbutted me, so I didn't stick to the game plan. I was just trying to knock him out, and I made the fight hard, like because
Right.
I told him I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna retire you. Tomorrow's gonna be your last fight, and then I went in the ring just swinging wild, trying to knock him out. You know what I mean? I think it would have been an easier fight if I would have never went in with that mindset. You know.
Right. So 6'3", and was that fight it? Was that it? I know you go between 147, 154. I mean,
That fight was at 52 because he fights at 54, so he came down 2 pounds.
man, but 6'3", that's a big for that weight. That's a big guy, you know.
Yeah,
And
I was surprised. I couldn't believe he made 152 so easy. It looked like he didn't have a problem at all making that weight.
yeah, yeah, that's a freaking nature almost, you know.
Yep. And he was southpaw.
Speaking of southpaws, your next opponent is a southpaw. This Rodrigo Coria.
Yeah. I'm a southpaw killer though. I think I beat 4 or 5 southpaws, and I had 2 training camps.
But you're frozen. Right, Steve, is that on?
Hello?
Hi, yeah, you froze up for a minute there.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was me or you, but I think it was me. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi though. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, no, so the last thing I heard was Southpaw Killer. And
Yeah. I fought like 5 southpaws, and I had like 2 training camps that the fights didn't go through for southpaws. I had one camp. I did a whole camp, went to the weigh-in and everything, and the next day the fight got canceled. So I'm pretty good with southpaws. I'm great with.
right. Who do you get your best training, your best sparring with down here in your camp?
I get a lot of sparring with this Ermo. He's just some kid. He trains in Miami. Ermo. He's Albanian. I get a lot of good work with him. He gives me a lot of rounds.
Nice. And you've been in some camps with some big names also in the past, haven't you? In other
Yeah,
guys' camps.
I've been in. I've sparred with like all the best welterweights. I sparred a lot of fighters. I sparred. Sometimes I forget that I even sparred guys.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I saw you one time at the it might have been the Boca Pal with Algieri and
Oh yeah. I sparred out Jerry there. Yeah.
yeah, there were a couple of pros in the gym that day. Um, yeah, what's it like training with sparring with the world champion?
Um, it's a great experience. It's like sparring is different from a fight though, but it's still like good to know I could get in there and move with the top guys at the top of the game. You know,
Yeah,
like playing basketball with like an NBA players. You know what I mean? At the top level, you could hold your own.
yeah, that's an interesting comparison because the top guys in the NBA are the top guys, and the same thing with boxing, I think, and that's I see that a lot. There's a lot of good fighters, and I know they have terms. They call them A-level fighters, B-level fighters, but the difference between like you take your average really good college ball player compared to your best NBA player. That's not. Would you say that's comparable to an A and B level fighter in boxing, or more like an A to a C level?
Mm, more to A to a B level, A to a B level.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are B level fighters, but you won't notice until they get in there with an A level fighter or A plus fighter.
I know.
Yeah, they look like because it's different when you got someone hitting you back. Like some guys don't react, like they can't react to that. They can't show up, and they can do all of the punching, but when they start getting punched, they don't show up. Like they fold. You know what I mean? So that a lot of times that's the difference. Like when somebody is you counter somebody and they counter you right back, it's like, oh wow, I never experienced this before. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like I used to get away with that shot. I used to be able to pull that off. Now I'm getting hit back.
Yeah, I think that's one of my best traits. I know I could adapt to any style. You know what I mean? I got
Yeah, I think you're mainly known as a big puncher. What do you think? What are you trying to improve in your game these days? Is there any skills you're working on with Jeff and Kevin there? Or?
Well, right now I'm in camp. I'm in DC. I'm working with Barry Hunter for this camp.
Okay, you're in DC. The fight's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, the fight's in Atlanta. But I did my
Okay.
camp in DC, this camp, because one of my managers wanted me to like see different styles and stuff. There's a lot of good sparring out here. There's a lot of southpaws. Like today, I sparred a 6'4" southpaw.
Get out of here. What do
Yeah.
you weigh?
He fights at 47. Mikel Fox. I think he's like 20-2. Mikel Fox.
Yeah.
He fought on Showtime a few times.
I can't imagine that, man, because I'm 6'5" and I'm 249. I can't imagine losing 100 pounds. What I would look like 100 pounds lighter, you know?
Yeah. He's really skinny, but when you get in the ring, you're like, damn, look how tall he is.
Yeah, that's but that's good. That's good that you got an opponent like that, you know?
Yeah. So when I fight this southpaw, it'll be easier. Like it's harder to jab someone who's 6'4". You know what I mean?
Right. And it's much easier for them to jab you because they're punching down, you know?
Yeah.
And they got the longer legs, and you know it's easier for them to get out of the way if they got the footwork down, you know.
Yeah, he's a real slick fighter. He's a good fighter. I think he got 2 losses, but one of them was like a robbery. Like he really won that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So before we talk about, you know, we're going to publicize the fight. It's June 11th, and it's in Atlanta. So this seems to be a pretty exciting card. Are you the headliner for it? It looks that way from the.
That's what everyone keeps telling me, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm the headliner for certain, but that's what everyone keeps telling me. Like even one of the trainers today was saying that I'm the headliner.
Yeah, that's definitely the way it looks. They were going to have. There's another popular South Florida fighter on there. That's Steve Gaffard.
Yeah, and, Steve Gaffard is fighting on the card.
Yes. And also Rafael Akujor.
I'm actually in camp right now with Steve. He's upstairs sleeping.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Well, tell him we say hi, man. That was a big fight that he took against Joe Smith Jr. on like a week's notice last time, right?
Yeah. I think it was like 8 days notice, 7 days notice, something like
that. Yeah. So we'll be watching him too. You know, it's nice to see where his career is going to go.
Yeah, he's looking sharp. I seen him spar today. He sparred some guy. I forgot the guy's name, but he fights on TV too. I forgot his name. He fought Edgar Berlanga. I can't think of his name right now, but Steve was looking sharp. He's looking real sharp.
Yeah. Do you know Berlanga from your New York days, or?
Yeah, I know Berlanga since he was a little kid.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah. We used to train together. We had the same trainer. Like we had the same trainer twice. So it was like we trained like together for a long time. You know, when you train with someone, you see them every day in the gym. It's like going to school, basically, like your classmate.
Who'd you train with up? Did you train with Benny Roman there?
No, he trained with Benny when he was a kid, but then he started training with this guy named Mark. Actually, Borrego's trainer, his name is Mark Ferret. Me and Edgar used to train with him.
Okay.
And he moved to Orlando. He's like the head trainer for Pro Box now, Mark Ferret. But that's who he trained with. And then Edgar used to be signed to Pro Box, and he used to train in Orlando. But I never signed with Pro Box. So then I went back to New York. I was training with Andre Rozier, and then Edgar started training with Andre Rozier.
Right. We saw Edgar at Andre's show that he did in Orlando.
Yeah. So I was training with Mark first. Then Edgar started training with Mark. Then I left Mark and went to Andre Rozier. Then he left Mark and went to Andre Rozier. So we always been trained. We've been training with each other for a few years until actually I came out here to train with Jeff. Well, I came out to Florida.
Right. You think Berlanga's ever going to come down to Florida?
He's always in Florida, but he goes to like he's usually in Orlando. He got family, a lot of family in Orlando.
Yeah, I tell you, I'd like to. They always put him on the posters with Xander Zayas, and I'd like to see him come down here and train with that team with Xander if they're good friends.
Yeah, I think he's training in Puerto Rico now.
He is.
Yeah.
Berlanga's training.
Yeah. That's on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, if you see him, tell him. I don't know if my word means anything. I'd like to see him train with Xander. I think they can both learn off each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. Xander's got a great mentality. But anyway, back to your fight, June 11th. And I also Supreme Patty was going to be on. Is he going to be on that card?
That's what they're saying. I would think Supreme Patty would be the main event.
Yeah, because how would you feel? How do you feel about that?
I like that. I think that's the future of boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think these promoters, these old school promoters, they're all like concert and music. Like Al Heyman is a music promoter, and then Bob Arum is old school. I think the new thing is like this YouTube and like Logan Paul and all those guys. I think that's the future of boxing. But I respect it because it's like they're bringing their fans into boxing. You know what I mean? Like it's not just boxing fans watching boxing now. It's like their fans are coming to watch boxing. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, I definitely appreciate that. I like what Logan Paul did with Amanda Serrano. Got her biggest payday.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, like it's not like they're hurting boxing. It's not like boxing fans are buying their fights and then their fights are bad. It's like people that don't watch boxing are buying their fights and they're getting to see real boxers and becoming fans of real boxers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I wrote an article on that about it probably a year or two ago about Logan, saying, look, he's probably going to be the biggest. He could be the biggest boxing promoter, if he kept with the game, because he's got the fan base. His fan base is humongous compared to anyone else's, so we can bring more people in. Same thing with like the Triller cards, and when they have shows and they bring the musicians on and the artists, and so I think it's good for boxing. But then there's people like Clarissa Shields said there's no way she would fight on a Logan Paul card because unless she was the headliner or something along those lines, but she would never be on a card under Logan Paul.
I guess that's her opinion,
Yeah.
She got a strong opinion on a lot of stuff, but everybody's different. She's a two-time Olympic gold medalist. She's a undisputed world champion, so she's supposed to say that. She's the shit in boxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's done everything to be able to say that. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's good for boxing. But she didn't say she wouldn't fight on this card. She just said she would be the headliner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. She'd want to be tough, Yeah. Yes, I agree with you. And Supreme Patty was training down at Delray Boxing for one of his showcase events.
Steve Jafar trained him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember I was doing a podcast there at the time with Maureen Shea and Jessica Aguilar, and I saw him in the background. I'm like, that's a YouTube guy that squirts lemon in his eyes.
Yeah. That's how I explained him. Everybody's like, "Who's Supreme Patty?" I'm like, he got famous for squeezing lemon on Snapchat or something like that.
Yeah. But I didn't see he's got an opponent. I didn't see him on the box rec, So I don't know if they found an opponent for him, but
yeah, I don't know yet. I actually got on this card like I wasn't even supposed to be on this card. They actually just put me on the card maybe like 7 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see
And then,
Matthew Pinker's on it also, light heavyweight.
yeah.
He trains down here. He's a great guy. He's a great fighter.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He trains in with Derek Santos and
Yep.
Boca.
And Avril Mappy, she's undefeated, 7-0. She was. You know Avril?
I don't know her. We fought on the same card, on the Blake Davis card together.
Yeah, she fought on one of Blake's cards. She also fought. She fought on that DAZN card that was down in Miami in the stadium there. What was that, 2 years ago? So she brings a lot of fans because she's got a huge following on Instagram. She was a swimsuit model, Miss USA, whatever. So yeah, so I think all of that is good. Anything that brings fans to the sports, because when I was growing up, everyone was a boxing fan. Everyone, in the 70s and the 80s, everyone liked boxing.
Yeah.
Up until that, now it's coming back. I definitely like the direction it's going in now, but it's not the same as it used to be.
Yeah.
In the United States, anyway. So anyway, your fight's coming up June 11th. It's in Atlanta, and how can the fans watch that?
It's streaming on BXNG something. I don't really know what that is, but that's the streaming service. So if you type in like bxng.com streaming or whatever,
Right,
it'll be on. Yeah, because I saw a flyer for it, but
okay.
yeah.
So we'll get that information. We'll post it for sure. Are there any sponsors that you want to give a shout out to that you're working with?
Shout out to Beta Bay, Odd Socks, Stay Ready Athletics. And that's about it.
Okay, all right. Now, in your future, where do you see yourself going? Because like I said, I see you fought between 147 and 154. Where do you see your future going?
47. I wanna win a belt at 47. So I'm gonna be at 47. Anytime you see me, like my 2 fights ago, my opponent was 10 pounds heavier than me. So it's like that's the only reason I don't fight at 47. And plus, like I haven't been fighting for any titles. You know what I
Right.
mean? So 47 is my weight class, but a lot of times the opponents have problems making the weight. So then I just fight at a higher weight class.
Yeah. Well, 47 is definitely an exciting weight class now. Who do you like in that division? Who's your favorite?
Myself. I'm the only person I like in 147. Also, I like Crawford too. I like Crawford.
Yeah. He's any boxing fan. He's hard not to like.
Yeah, he's a real cool dude. I like Jaron Ennis also. I know these dudes personally, and they're like really cool dudes or whatever. But at the end of the day, I want those belts. So, feel me? I'm not a fan of anybody at 147. 147, I'm only a fan of myself. But they're cool dudes. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck on the 11th, and you'll have to come on the show afterwards, tell us about it, and we're definitely following your career, and it's a pleasure talking to you tonight. We're going to talk to Lou Martinez from Palm Beach Boxing doing the Golden Gloves next weekend.
Good. Good luck to all those guys fighting the Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
And then that's the beginning of, for me, that was the beginning of everything.
Yeah, you want to stay on for a couple of minutes? We'll have you on for a couple of minutes with Lou, and then we'll let you go. Or
I got to go to the gym. I was waiting to do this so I could go to the gym.
All right, so we'll let you go. Any last words?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Okay, we appreciate you too. Good luck, Pistol Pete Dobson, bxng.com or .tv, whatever. We'll post that information. June 11th in Atlanta. Good card. Good seeing
I think
you.
it says BXNG on this right now. Oh, you wrote that?
Yeah, Steve just wrote it. He's backstage.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect. All right, fellas. Have a good one. Thanks.
Okay. Have a good night, sir.
You too.
All right. There you have it. Pistol Pete Dobson. He's on the verge of exploding. I feel it. Next up, we're going to have Lou Martinez from Palm Beach Boxing. Follow the Florida Golden Gloves on Instagram at Florida Golden Gloves. Okay, and we will see if we have any comments. If you're out there watching, you want to drop a comment, give a call, anything you want to ask for Lou or comments you want to make, there he is. How you doing, Lou?
Good, good. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I see you're in your office there with those.
Yeah. I have to come here and get a little quietness. You know, it's really loud out in the gym.
I know. I'm admiring the memorabilia behind you.
Thanks, man. I got rooms full of stuff like that.
I know it. So for the people that don't know you,
collected to the point of almost a hoarder.
Yeah. Well, you can open a museum, you know.
One these days.
Yeah, you could charge admission.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself, Lou, for the people that might be meeting you for the first time.
Oh, well, all right. I'm I own a gym here in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's called Palm Beach Boxing. Been around since 1998. Moved a few times, but now we're settled down into the I'm building here. I'm military in Okeechobee, and we just try to produce boxers out of here. We run the state franchise Golden Gloves out of this gym out of Palm Beach County. We hold that tournament every year. We're about to hold it this weekend, and hopefully, I got to tell you, there's a little pop up, which I might need some help from you guys and everybody watching. So we had an issue with doctors, so I was looking for I had a doctor, and he had emergency room emergencies, and so I couldn't find a doctor. All of a sudden, yesterday, I find one to do Saturday and Sunday, but I still need one for Friday, or we're canceling the show. We're very close to it, so calling everybody, and now I'm asking you guys to put the word out.
So you still need a doctor just for Friday, you're saying?
Friday, yeah, just for Friday.
What are the hours going to be?
So 11 o'clock we do the physicals. Then we sit when we get something to eat. Then 1 o'clock we start the show. We should be done by like 5:30.
All right, 11 to 5. What are the qualifications for the doctors?
So it has to be a DO or an MD. We'll get them certified through USA Boxing and Colorado, and he knows what to do as far as a doctor. We'll show him the ropes of what to do here. So it's fairly simple, It's giving back to the community, We do so much trying to keep kids off the street. The Golden Gloves is a great, great, great launching pad for anybody's career. As Dobson just even said, that was his stomping ground to begin with,
Absolutely.
Yeah. If anybody's made it in boxing, they went through the Golden Gloves.
Absolutely. Right. USA Boxing is where
it's
all of them started, if they're from this country,
Absolutely. It's a grassroots programs, and it's for all levels, but this is where the help is needed,
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll be on the lookout for a doctor. I'll put feelers out. We got what, 48 hours? That's plenty of time.
Yeah, we like close.
Yeah.
I'm confident. I'm feeling confident. I really feel that somebody will come through. It's hard to let all these people are coming from far away too, and everything's in place, and we've already put everything out for the venue, and everything that needs it. We have the ambulance coming. We just need a doctor.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll see what we can do. All right. So if anyone's listening out there that knows a doctor that wants to work Friday 11 to 6, food included. And it's good food too. I remember the food from last time. That was no joke.
That's right. We compensate him and we feed him.
Yeah, that was homemade. That wasn't right.
Yeah, if he needs a room, I'll put him in the hotel for one night. No problem.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about. I think the first Golden Gloves that we did with you. Well, was probably 4 years ago. I went to one, but the one 3 years ago, there were a lot of stars from that show.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think
latest as far as big star was Teofimo. I mean, he won 2 Golden Glove titles with me. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah. And we got some good up and comers now. Abel Gonzalez is turning pro. You know, and he was a really good. He won it twice, the National Golden Gloves as well. You know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Aponte.
Oh, Aaron Aponte went through this program. You know, Nate Campbell went through this program. Roy Jones went through this program. Antonio Tarver. You know, we have a lot of the greats. They've gone through this program, especially all the Floridian ones.
Exactly. I'm just thinking of ones in my time that I remember in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You have that kid Grand Jared.
Eric Lubin we put through here, you know. He won a title for it. He won a national.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's important. You know, it's definitely a stepping stone and something that a lot of boxers appreciate on their resumes.
Yes.
Yeah, the show must go on. So
yeah, if you're ever watching Showtime or, you know, pay-per-views boxing, they hardly ever mention that the guy won a U.S. national title, but they will always mention that he won a U.S. Golden Glove title.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
And I've heard from a couple of fighters that say, you know, that went pro, including Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe said that the proudest, you know, his highest moment in boxing was winning the New York State Golden Gloves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Riddick Bowe, he often comes to our shows. I don't have a plan to come this year, but he's been to our tournament a few years in a row.
Yeah. He was at the one day when it was down in the heavyweight factory, right?
That's right. Evander was there that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a few names coming to this one. We don't know who will show up or when, but you know, I know Nate Campbell's coming for sure. I just got off the phone with him a little while ago.
Nice. Yeah, he's in the Florida Hall of Fame too, right?
Yeah. Yep. He is. Yeah. He is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. And who's anyone competing this year that fans should keep an eye on?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of up and coming young guys. So you know, I don't see them turning pro anytime soon. Thank God, because last year I had 2 national title holders. Both of them turned pro.
Right.
You know, I always like to take them back because they're at their peak. You know, but
yeah.
But we got a lot of young guys now. I don't know how this year will turn out. You know, but we should have some good talent there. Hopefully, if the show goes off.
Yeah. We just need a doctor.
Yes, I implore anybody that has any information for it, send it to me. Give me a call. I'll give my number out here if I'm allowed to.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely help you. So Friday, it's Friday would be the first round, and then the semifinals would be on Saturday, and the finals are on Sunday, correct?
Right.
Okay.
That's
yeah, this tournament is for the older. It's 18 and older.
This one is 18 and older. So last year we put them all together and did the novice with the juniors, the peewees. We did the intermediates. We did the youth, and it turns out we had like 40 fights a day.
Right.
Too much.
It's too much for everyone.
Yeah, so we slowed it down this year in order to get the teams that go to the national, which is only the open division. We turned it into 18 and over. We're still doing novice, but only 18 and older. And a couple masters, believe it or not, we got some good masters fight on. They're always very entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The old folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but you're doing another one in September also?
Yeah, I'm gonna do another show in September, November. We don't have the exact date. We got a great venue in Riviera Beach that we've been using, and it looks like we're going to go back there.
Okay, nice.
Beach really helps us out a lot. They love the boxing. You know, they know what it does for helping kids stay on the right path.
Exactly.
So,
give us a story about that. You know, you always hear these fighters say the boxing saved their life.
Yes.
You know, they were really on And I'm interested in that because, as you know, I teach middle school right around the corner from where your gym is in Green Acres. And I know some of my former students. I saw one kid at graduation. What are you doing with yourself now? He's like, this and that, and I'm training over at Palm Beach Boxing.
Oh, great.
Like, yeah. So, do you have any stories that come to mind about kids that were really on the wrong path that came down to the gym?
Oh yeah, all the time. We have kids now that are straight A students now. All they had was F's before, and they couldn't get along with anybody. They were cussing out their parents, their teachers. What this sport does is brings discipline to your life. You almost have no time to screw off, because if you're training and trying to be good at this, we're taking that energy. By the time you go eat and sleep and rest until you come back and do it again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they start sparring, they get a little humble, They get a little more humility in their lives and say,
we get in here, we get the bullies and we get the people that are bullied,
Right.
As they work out, it starts to level off, where, the person that wins the fight is the person that knows how to fight. So even the guys getting bullied are in here learning.
Right.
The bully can't really bully them no more. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Do we teach them?
Exactly. And you have young men and young women in the gym, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We got all levels. We got 8-year-olds and 80-year-olds in here. They all work out together. Some compete, some don't compete. Some just do it to get the good workout,
Exactly.
Yeah. We got other athletes that come. We got sometime of the year, football teams come here because of the way they get excellent workout for their coordination and agility, what this does. And then during the off season, we get a lot of football players training here.
Right. Yeah, it's great cross training,
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Well, look, if you have good footwork in boxing, you have good footwork on the football field.
Right. Yeah, and you're in good shape, and your mentality gets strong.
Yeah. What about hockey players?
I've had a few. I actually have one on the wall, a picture of a pro that signed a picture for me, and we used to train him.
Yeah.
Because
they're fighting all the time anyway.
He's missing the one tooth from hockey, though, not from boxing.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. From a fight on the ice or from a puck,
From a fight on the ice.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I forgot. Yeah, someone was watching someone put a video up on Instagram. There was a fight at the Panthers game, and one of the, someone. Is that part of the sport? They let that go on. I'm like, that is the sport of hockey.
Yeah.
They encourage it. That's
right. They do.
Yeah. They certainly don't do anything to stop it. They give you 2-minute, 3-minute penalty.
They just sit back and watch. That's part of their entertainment.
Yeah. And then the same guy goes back onto the ice. You can't do that on the football field. You start a fight with someone, you're thrown out of the game.
Yeah, the penalties are huge there.
Yeah, but hockey fights are a whole different thing because you're on skates, and
yeah. I guess that's what they think. It won't go that long because of that.
Yeah, well, they hold on to each other. They're holding on so they don't fall, and then but that's There's always a variety of people in a boxing gym. That's you get them from all walks of life.
Yes, yeah, we got lawyers, we got factory workers, we get them all.
Yeah.
And here also you'll see policemen working out right next to guys that are gang members. It brings a lot of harmony.
Yeah. Well, the sport definitely does help a lot of people. I saw that movie on Netflix, the one that Chris Colbert was on, and they were talking they closed all the police athletic leagues in New York City, and then Teddy Atlas and a group took them over, and they were talking to someone from Atlas organization, and he said, it only costs like 60 grand a year to keep one of these gyms open, and it costs like 70 or 80 to keep someone incarcerated. One person.
Probably just one person. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So why aren't they funding that? You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's got to be one guy in prison that you're paying for. You could say, hey, you've been good, go back on the street, we'll open the gym. You work there as a,
Yeah.
Pay for itself.
Yeah, they'll pay the guy's salary. It'll be less than what they're wasting on him in jail.
Exactly. But yeah. So anything else for people that are assuming we find that doctor? How do people buy the tickets?
So tickets you can go to floridaboxing.org. We're selling them there on Eventbrite. Eventbrite is the ticket seller, but
Eventbrite.
Gloves.org. My number's on there too, 561-670-6565, in case anybody has a connection to a doctor. Anybody want to buy tickets, just call my number. You call the gym number. We're selling tickets there, which is 561-478-9013.
Okay. There's Steve in the background there getting all that information down, flashing it on the screen. We'll post it on our Instagram also and on the under the video.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, but the doctor, I guess, is the most important thing.
At this point, yeah, he's the most important one,
Yeah. How many hours, and I know your lovely wife Wendy helps you out with this, but how many hours do you guys put in around showtime here?
Oh, it's 24/7, man. I'm telling you, you won't believe the calls you'll get at midnight. People think that they don't have hours,
Yeah.
Yeah, so all kind of questions,
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's not a bother, It's a lot of work. It's a labor of love almost, It costs about $25,000-$30,000 a year in order to send the team off to the National Golden Gloves. I'm not the only one that endures that. Every one of the 30 other franchises have to go through the same thing. We all, do fundraising and sponsorships, and through this show right now, we'll sell tickets just to raise money to buy airline tickets, to buy a hotel for 1 week, to buy uniforms, and to feed everybody for 1 week. Everybody means a team of 10 kids, male, a team of 10 women, females, and 2 coaches and 2 officials.
Right.
Every year you start over too. It might look like we raking the money here, but no, it all gets used up.
Yeah. So look, you got to pay the doctor.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Yeah, and the ambulance crew and the
venue, the chair rental, the
commission.
A lot goes into it. Yeah, the sanction. Yeah, through US.
Right. What about in the past? Did USA Boxing used to take a more active role in terms of either money or manpower in organizing these events, or?
It's always been about the same. I mean, they help to where the local LBCs raise money, kid or another kid off to the nationals. They kind of help with that. They don't, not the Golden Gloves program though. We're kind of on our own. We have to do our own fundraising. USA Boxing is a separate entity from Golden Gloves, although they run they're like our rule keeper. They're our sanctioning body. So we play off their rules, and but we get to have our own say in how we run our tournaments.
Right. Yeah. It's such a tough, avenue to take in terms of a profession. When you think about it, from the ranks and the amateur, you really have to be dedicated as the athlete, and you really have to have dedicated people that believe in you around you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely everybody sees one guy getting in the ring, but it's a team effort.
Exactly.
To have that good outcome with a winner, it needs to be a winning team.
Right. Exactly. But again, it gives a lot of these athletes chances that they probably would not have any other way. You know,
Definitely not. Definitely not. Boxing, they say it's a poor man's sport. You know, only the top tier is making the big bucks. Everybody else is struggling to get there.
yeah, yeah. Um,
But it's a way of life. You know, like a lot of these kids that I take the Golden Gloves, I don't expect them to all be world champions. But you know what happens? The discipline and what they gain from it helps them become a good doctor, a good parent, a good co-worker at their job. You know, it's not all about only becoming the world champion boxer.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they know what it's like to struggle. They know what it's like uh, to persevere,
Right.
to
Yeah.
face adversity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not give up.
Strong-willed. You know, their will becomes stronger in order to.
Exactly. Exactly. And it seems, you know, uh, the some of the people, in order for some of the boxers, and I'm thinking about a couple of local guys in particular, they do things outside the sport. They do things in the community to get their name out there.
Right.
And you know, they build up a following over the years, and they go and you know they'll speak at schools, or they'll hold you know, a Thanksgiving, a turkey thing or whatever, or a movie night, you know, and they'll sell tickets. And
Yeah, a lot of people look up to these athletes.
yeah, yeah,
Because they know it's a lot of hard work to get to their level. You know.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
I know, I know, I know. I think the sport would be more popular than it is now if people really knew the backstories to, you know, to a lot of these fighters.
Right.
And you know, back in the day, you know, in the 70s and the 80s, you know, there were mainstream boxers were on mainstream news.
Right.
And
Right.
everyone knew who they are, or they were on TV shows. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard was on that Saturday morning kids show,
Yeah.
The Great Space Coaster. You know, you had Evander Holyfield show up on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, where are these opportunities now for professional fighters? It just
Well, the world's a different place now, you know. So everybody's looking to be the next social guru, you know.
yeah, the social media.
More so on social media than in regular TV, you know. It's like the more likes you get, the better, I guess, makes everybody feel, you know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. As we were talking to Pete Dobson about that, because
Yeah.
um, you know, having guys like Supreme Patty on the card, he's
Yeah.
okay with it. He's like, yeah, they bring fans, you know.
Yeah. You know,
Um,
I was watching an interview just a little while ago with Tiafimo and his name is slipping me. What's the kid that's fighting this Saturday with Camboza?
Haney.
So Teofimo and Haney and they're arguing with each other about who has more followers.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that was the argument. I got more followers than you. No, you don't got no more followers. Is
Well,
that?
that's dumb because Ryan Garcia has more than both of them combined.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, you don't want to compare yourself that way. You know?
No, but that was the argument right there. I couldn't believe that's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
You know.
That's funny. That is funny. That's the last thing I think that they should be thinking about, you know?
Yeah, if you think about it, like, bro, I was watching a Triller fight one time, and the fighters that were in the ring were having a pretty good fight. Everybody stopped and started looking towards the stand because the social media guy was walking by.
Yeah.
He literally stopped the fight, and everybody was looking at that instead of the actual fight.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, Logan Paul, I think he's done a lot for the sport. You
Yeah.
know, he's brought a lot of opportunities for, you know, especially for Amanda Serrano and getting
Yeah.
paydays and bringing the spotlight to female boxing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Supreme Patty was supposed to fight on the card on the 11th, but
Yeah.
I don't see him on BoxRec. I don't know if they got him an opponent or whatever. But he would have brought, you know, viewers, and then they would have seen, you know, Steve Geffrada's on that card and Pete Dobson, and
Right.
you know, they would see real fighters, guys who are really in the game.
You can't say it's bad, because anything that brings attention to what you're trying to build up is good.
Yeah, yeah. We have a comment here, Galactus. I'm not sure who Galactus is, but yeah, number of followers equates to more pay-per-view buys. It's kind of important, of course. Yeah. And again, that's important. But I hope these people that are just buying, you know, will stick around as boxing fans and not just watch the fights at their social media, you know,
Right.
people are on.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I was hoping we get a comment about a doctor.
I know, Galactus. You know any doctors?
Come on, Doc. We need you, Doc.
Yeah, said all the best fighters are fighting each other now, except Davis. He's the only one still can't be. It's pathetic. Yeah, that's it. You know, some of those top guys, I guess that's a different subject. That'll be our next show. Yeah, management and the way these guys are developed. I don't know if that has to do with the popularity of the sport. Maybe it does.
It has, yeah. Brings
What do you think? You think, Lou? You think that sport would be any different if the top guys were always fighting the top guys like they used to do, and you know, you just didn't duck opponents?
Yeah, it sure would be. It sure would be. And if you know, a little bit, got to get rid of the alphabet soup. You know, there's so many belts, and it's not that there's so many belts, because if you look at it, there's no new belts coming into the equation. As far as there's still the top four. You know,
right?
WBC, IBF, WBA, and WBO. What is ruining the sports is the silver medal, the interim champion, the light, you know, there's so many champions in each division now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you have a world champion, and then you have a super world champion.
And then you have an interim champion, and then you have a silver belt champion. You know.
Yeah,
it's hard. I don't even know how it all works. That's
what's up, Lou?
The WBA said that they were going to crack down on that and try and consolidate some of the belts, but I don't know that
They said that?
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen that, because, all right, the WBA might do it, but not their little offshoot organizations that they have. You know, they'll just pass out more belts with those organizations. You know.
Yeah, I think the WBA is one of the biggest culprits of that.
Yeah, that's probably why they were getting the most heat for it. But
yeah.
Lou, you got any last words?
Well, if anybody can help with a doctor for our show this weekend, this Friday. I know it's cutting it close, 1 day notice, but the show must go on, so we need a doctor. I'd like everybody to know we're gonna door opens at noon. First fight's at 1. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The championship's on Sunday. We're at 2535 North Military Trail, West Palm Beach, Florida. You can go to FloridaGoldenGloves.org for more information and to buy your tickets, or call the 561-347-9143.
Okay, we got that. Yeah, Steve's got this thing with cutting people off, but you know, Lou, we could definitely continue this conversation after your busy weekend here. We'd love to have you on the show again.
I'd love to come back.
Yeah, and I see there's some comments coming up, you know.